The playoffs are inside at the 2016 Travelers Curling Club Championship, and Saskatchewan can book their ticket to the playoffs this morning. Hello and welcome inside the Kelowna Curling Club for coverage of the Travelers Championship. Darren McEwen alongside Dave Meloff. Dave, the Saskatchewan rink is rolling here. They're 4-0 to start the event, delivering Manitoba their first loss last night. And if they can win here over Northern Ontario, that would get them a direct path into Friday's semifinal.
Yeah, the whole goal of the round robin is to get into that semifinal game. You really want to solidify your effort at that. You allow yourself to get a little extra rest and a real good chance at winning for Saskatchewan a second championship.
And for Northern Ontario at 1-3, that record doesn't really reflect how they've played. A lot of close games. They lost narrowly to Quebec and Manitoba throughout. You can see there the standings of the men's pool A on the left side and the men's pool B on the right. Also have the women's up there for you as well.
Northern Ontario with a big chance to add some confusion to that men's pool A. A win here and Saskatchewan loss will sure muddle up the playoff picture.
Yeah, I guess.
Two pools in both the men's and women's events. The top finisher after pool play goes directly into the semifinal on Friday evening. Second and third finishers cross over. They play in the quarterfinals. That's tomorrow afternoon. And on that note, Manitoba men are in action this morning, and it's a must-win for them in a key matchup with Prince Edward Island, who are vying also for a playoff spot. We'll keep you updated in that match over on Sheet 3. It's a similar story on the other men's pool. Ontario has cruised through 4 straight wins, and they could win. If they win either one of their games today, they'll lock up top spot in the Pool B event. BC, Nova Scotia, Yukon, they're all in contention still. And on the women's side, let's just say it's very close. We have no undefeated teams, and both those pools are going to be tight. But we're underway here in our feature game on Sheet 5. It was Northern Ontario Gary Weiss finding the 4-foot on the last stone draw, and he will have last rock in the first end as we watch Mark Beasley, the lead from Northern Ontario, deliver his first stone.
We've got a potential for a pretty messy first end here, but two center guards, or one center guard and a corner guard out already.
Gary Weiss's rink out of the Port Arthur Curling Club in Thunder Bay, and two really well-known curling clubs in Canadian curling taking on one another here. This is Saskatchewan's representative out of the Nutana Curling Club in Saskatoon, and Corey Kohutch from that club as Port Arthur Curling Club from Thunder Bay.
Whoa! No line, no line, whoa!
Got a chance to get one in early here. Put a little pressure on
okay, now you can go.
Skill.
Now you can go.
Wes Lang with his second stone of the first end.
Some tremendous curl here at the Kelowna Curling Club. We got at least 5 feet, maybe 6 feet of curl coming both ways, going away from the center line, coming back to the center line. Should make for some exciting play.
Dave, pretty fast ice as well?
No, I wouldn't say it's fast at all. In fact, I believe in order to make the curl, they've had to sacrifice some of the speed.
Same way, a little bit hot. Roll there. Here it comes.
Certainly not slow ice, but there isn't that extra 2 feet of carry that you'll find on really slick ice.
Finish it. Go, 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 go. Go, 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 go.
Beasley with his second stone. Mark's curled for 19 years. He's a clinical manager at St. Joseph's Care Group in Thunder Bay.
He got that in a pretty good spot there, Darren. That's top 4 foot above the center line, above the tee line, excuse me. Saskatchewan's looking to clear off that front now.
Kohutch asking his second. David Schmerler, get rid of the front. Familiar name in Canadian curling world. Schmerler, a distant cousin to the late Sandra Schmerler, former Olympic gold medalist for Canada.
Whoa, whoa.
He's got some curling to do if he wants.
Not West. Okay.
Eligibility requirements for the Travelers Curling Club Championship. We talked about the two curling clubs they represent, two of the finest in the country. The members that are here competing for all the provinces and territories, 3 of the 4 players must play together in a regular curling league. The players competing at this event, they are allowed 1 player who has played in a juniors or a Brier, Scotties, or senior event in the current or previous 4 curling season at the provincial level, or participated in a Grand Slam event in the current or previous 4 curling seasons. No player on the team can have played in a Canadian junior men's, women's, or senior Canadian championship for those years, but they can have competed in their provincial or territorial one. But there are certainly some former Brier and Scotties participants out here. We also have one sitting right beside me as well that's been to a Brier. What does this mean for these players out here, Dave, that haven't been to a national championship at all in their previous years?
Well, it's a fantastic event. The Travelers has done a wonderful job. It's created an opportunity for those who don't have the ability or the chance to play at on a regular basis. Some of us have real jobs, and it gives them a real good opportunity to play at a national level.
As we see David Schmerler, the run back doesn't quite get rid of the one in the house, but does move it over and out of the 4-foot.
Yeah, getting it out of the 4-foot is a big deal.
Same as draw to the button, right?
Real good chance here for the Northern Ontario team to stick another one in there, lie 2, and force that play back to the middle.
So it's strong.
Close!
We're hot!
Close!
Coming down!
Yes!
Going to swing hard here.
Hard!
This outturn going away from
Hard!
the glass.
Whoa.
Always has the ability to move hard.
Go all the way back, Gary, all the way back, all the way back. That's better, no doubt.
Aaron Rogalski with that draw around the guard. He's began curling when he was 16 years old.
Kohutch with an opportunity here to get one into the 4-foot area with a hit and roll.
First look at David Krejci. David joining this team. The other 3 members actually won the Travelers National Championship in 2014. Krejci joining the team from originally from Manitoba. Finished in a few Manitoba finals. Never won them, and I asked him earlier this week what it's like to wear the Saskatchewan colors, and he said it.
I don't know.
As long as he was able to get to a national championship, it's a pretty special thing.
Anyone throw this one in warm up?
And Saskatchewan's such a competitive province too. It's being from Saskatchewan myself. It was
Just a draw!
it was always a big goal for the curlers out of Saskatchewan to get there.
Pretty neat tie-in, actually, the Kohutch team from the Nutana Curling Club. And Rick Folk curled out of that club to win the Brier and then go on to win the World Men's Championship. Rick actually, in 1994, in this curling club representing Kelowna, won the Brier and World Championships as well.
Close! Yep!
Yeah, Rick quite a legend of the game.
Hard! Hard, guys! Hard!
Probably my
harder,
biggest influence
come on.
growing up,
Hard!
actually.
Keep going!
Darren Serkan just rubbing the front guard.
Leaves himself in a pretty good spot, though. It's out front, ready to promote later. It's going to have to deal with. Looking at their other option, they have the in-turn draw, trying to freeze and bail out of this end.
Greg, it's the loudest it's ever been out here. You can't hear anything, eh? It's the loudest I've had it out here. You can't hear anything.
They're mentioning how loud it is in this curling club. It is for the whole week.
Hurry!
Big echo in this
Hurry!
club.
Yeah, I was talking to some of the women. They were hoping in the second game that the men would start losing their voices, and that has panned out for some of the teams out here. 12 sheets in action, men and women. Men on the odd number sheet, women on the even number. Nice.
That's a fantastic looking curling shot here. Might be over curling just slightly.
Shot, Davey.
He's got the top of the lid there. That's going to be tough to remove.
Everything's better under the umbrella, but that one's on top of it. Great shot for Saskatchewan.
Hard for them to hear, but good throw.
A bit of an end saver there.
Gotta bump it back a bit.
Same weight, guys, gets it there or no? What did I throw? So, 65-ish then?
Northern Ontario is going to try to corner freeze down on top of that. Pretty tight port down there, Darren.
Yeah.
Yes!
Hard
Hard,
road!
As we watch Darren Serkan with his second rock.
Whoa!
One sweeper here for Northern Ontario. Can you explain that, Dave, to anyone that's not seen curling in the last, I guess, 2 years?
Well, the one sweeper being on the inside of the curl would allow that rock to run a little straighter, whereas the outside sweeper getting on it would probably cause that rock to curl a little bit more. So in that situation, Northern Ontario was trying to keep that rock a little straighter because it might have been a little tighter to that center guard. So that inside sweeper will allow that rock to run just a touch straighter.
All these teams, all the players that are sweeping will have the WCF approved fabric on their brooms. So it's kind of an even playing field in terms of what they're working with on the end of their brooms. And you see the beautiful mustard yellow matches, I guess, Northern Ontario's trim on their jackets, but those are all approved by the officials here in Kelowna. And the thinking there with the color is that the lighter the color, the less heat it will attract onto the ice. Testing went into that over the summertime in Ottawa with a lot of science behind it.
I think 60.
Well, it's important to have an even playing ground, that's for sure. I think last year with the broom controversy, there were some issues for sure.
So Corey Kohutch, his first rock of this first end.
He's got a chance here to get to the inside of that red rock and maybe lie two behind cover.
Hard! Whoa! Whoa!
This is noise factor here. You can see
Hard game!
they were on it, but we saw Lang in the house calling them off, but pretty great shot.
Pretty good shot, lying two in the 4 foot.
Yeah, that's not hacked. Okay, I like that.
A real good opportunity for Northern Ontario here if they can
Feel or firm?
run this
Firm or
double.
feel? Yeah.
Slightly on the high side, Darren, and clip out that yellow in the back of the 4 foot.
This, I should have an
Maybe even a little roll behind cover on the left. And Bob's your uncle, lying too.
There you go.
I don't think he can jam. I don't think he can see enough of it to jam.
Gary Weiss, 43-year-old manager of operations at the Ministry of Transportation of Ontario. His first rock of the first end.
Mark, all the way, Mark!
Mark Beasley on the sweep right now, trying to make it get through that hole. Not quite. Just misses, though. Two yellow in the house.
Saskatchewan dodging a bullet here. Now is a real good opportunity to get a steal of one, maybe two. Corey can plug that hole up.
Dave, would you ever try and get right in there to sit three, or too dangerous?
Okay, boys.
Well, I think at this point he'd be delighted to steal one,
I don't
even
think so.
two. You could certainly try to get one in there if you could get to the nose of that yellow. The only danger being that if you don't quite get to the nose, you could set up some sort of triple, and that triple would be for three. So this is a fairly safe shot. Plug that hole and give him an out turn with that red rock on the right side there.
Clean it. Good. Good.
He seems to have done the job.
Kohutch last rock there, but Northern Ontario.
I'm not sure if you can see enough of that red rock to promote it in there. Looks like he's going to try to double off the one at 3 o'clock.
Thought it was out to the broom, but it's just the softness. Yeah, hard middle rock.
Both these teams bringing a pretty good contingent, fan contingency here. We have several spouses from the Northern Ontario rink are here, as well as some other family members. Saskatchewan has family, and a lot of the other teams here in Kelowna had lots of fans come out from across the country to cheer on their province and
My
territory.
first one, I got a little excited with my line call, and
So Gary Weiss facing two on his first and last rock. Try the in-off double for one.
Yeah, even if he can roll into the full 4 foot and cut the Saskatchewan team down to one, would be a bit of a victory, I think, here for Gary.
Yep! Really
he's
hard.
tight early.
Hold
Mark
it
Beasley
there.
trying to drag that out, get a
Never mind.
chunk of it. The back piece of it, and that will go through, and it's an early steal of 2 for Saskatchewan and Corey Kohutch, former Travelers Curling Club Championship, off to a great start in this draw 6 action in Kelowna.
You're playing from behind all the time. Not a hard game.
Yeah.
Well, it's just the start the Saskatchewan team needed. A win here can propel them right into the semifinal game. A real good chance that David Schmirler is going to be asked to throw this right into the rings. I'm sorry, Westling. West Lang throwing the lead rocks for Team Saskatchewan and holding the broom for Corey Kohutch.
It's fast in that spot, eh?
Yeah, second end is typically the fastest
Yeah.
end
But it's still that's the
in,
quickest spot, eh?
in a curling game here at Kelowna Club.
See Gary Weiss drag that one right to the back of the house. And he'll call the corner guard. Try and generate some offense here for the team from Thunder Bay.
What'd you get? 75? I got 75.
This rock should have no problems getting across that center line, getting out to the wing somewhat.
Oh, we got yellow got 2. Yeah.
Hard it goes. Keep it going, a bit more. Bit more.
Corey looks to be going around that red rock. He's going to put a little pressure on the Northern Ontario team.
First look there at the time clocks behind the players. These are time games, all of them 30 minutes. It's thinking time. We haven't had time as an issue for any of the teams, which is nice to see because for a lot of them, this is the first time that they will be put to time clocks. They do get 2 1-minute timeouts if they do need them. There's no coaches in this event, but they call them to stop the time, get a shift of momentum, or look at the scene in the house.
Never.
A great innovation a number of years ago, the time clocks. Keep these games moving. It's very much a thinking game, and we can get caught up thinking a little too much.
And our thanks to the volunteers who are manning those all throughout the week. About 100 volunteers from the Kelowna area are helping put on the Travelers Championship, and from driving to timing and helping with the lounge up here as well as the hotel shuttling back and forth. It's been a great help.
Can't run these events without the
We're back here.
We're back
without
there.
the help of the volunteers, and Kelowna continues to bring volunteers out for every one of these national
Right here,
events
come
that
on,
we
guys,
host.
hard. Sirkan, go.
Go, get out of the way.
Go.
As we see Mark Beasley's rock coming right into the 4-foot there. Mark, a father of 2, Alyssa, 16 years old, and Matthew, 12. If time's a little right now, but he wanted to give them a shout out. Wife Allison is here as part of the big Northern Ontario fan base.
Now Saskatchewan's going to try to remove red.
Whoa. Hurry.
There's a break. Northern Ontario needed a break like that. Weiss is going to throw up a center guard. His other option would become right around that corner guard. He's going to try to protect the one in the 4-foot for the moment.
Where are we?
Hey, we're there, man.
Again, the second end is
We're
fast.
top 12.
The boys
Maybe
are backing
even
off
to
this
it,
one.
Maybe to it. We're close. Top 12. Top 8.
You ready, Sirkan, a bit? Sirkan, a bit. Full 12. Okay, yeah, go. Okay, right there, good. Okay.
Aaron Rogalski in Northern Ontario will sit 2, 1 behind the corner guard, 1 in the forefoot.
That's a pretty good shot there, Darren. I don't think that was his game plan on that, but it's certainly a great plan B.
Talked about the other games in action. We'll be keeping an eye on all of them, but Manitoba right now gave up a single, I should say PEI took the game where Manitoba is in a must-win situation against PEI, who is also looking to make the playoffs. All the scores for both men and women can be found at curling.ca/scoreboard. We also have another live game being broadcast for women's play, that one Manitoba and Northwest Territories, on our other YouTube channel this morning.
Freeze the back.
Reese has called for a freeze to the back rock.
Positive, be positive.
Real good opportunity here to set up a chance at a 3-ender. You can get this one anywhere in the area, forcing Saskatchewan away from that rock and behind the corner guard.
Can you guess who Aaron Rogalski said he was inspired by as a curler coming from Thunder Bay?
It wouldn't have been me, would it? I'm thinking Al Hackner.
Al Hackner's one.
Ricky Lang.
Ricky Lang's another. Bruce Melville and Scott Henderson round that out, and certainly those first two are definitely names that household names even outside the curling world in Canada.
True gentleman also.
Port Arthur Curling Club actually just celebrating the gold medal at the Canadian Mixed Championship last weekend. Trevor Bono in his rink from the Port Arthur captured the championship. I believe they defeated Manitoba there.
Yep.
Terrific curling community in Northern Ontario too. The rivals that of Saskatchewan, two very storied provinces.
No.
Playing in this game today.
David Krejci picking out the Northern Ontario stone behind the corner guard, and Saskatchewan sitting one at the back of the house.
Okay, Reese is going to have to try to get one in there. He wants to almost overbury this one. So obviously with the extra curl we have here, getting it completely buried doesn't seem to be enough. They can still get at it.
Of University of Northern Iowa. Went there on a baseball scholarship. A lot of athletes out here participating in baseball, softball. We have taekwondo. Certainly no shortage of athleticism on the rink today.
Same.
Slips a little deep, but it still forces Saskatchewan to make a play at it.
Tolerance here, Dave, would be picking out the guard if you get a little too inside on it?
Yeah, that's always the way to miss this shot. But,
Clean it! Yep!
It's wide open. I think I'd be disappointed if that happened.
Hurry! Hurry, Wes!
Wes Lang trying to get it around that. Gets by the guard, but it will keep moving.
Hey, Davey.
I think Saskatchewan would have liked to have rolled away on that one. That's going to leave Weiss a real good opportunity to get one frozen behind the tee line.
You took more ice
and behind cover.
And then you dumped it. And then you threw it pretty good, but you set it and threw hard because you thought it wasn't enough. So just throw the ice. The ice would have been okay. Don't worry about
this Northern Ontario rink has made this their goal for the last few years. They actually decided to kind of step back from, as we call it, competitive curling, more competitive elite curling in Northern Ontario. They had to wait a few years to be eligible for the Travelers Championship. And this was actually the first opportunity they were eligible for it this year. So they achieved what they wanted to in getting here, and credit to them for waiting and building up the team to be competitive here in Kelowna.
Not everybody can put the time in to play at that competitive level. It takes a lot of sacrifices from family and from jobs. This is a fantastic alternative.
He's just going to draw down to. I guess if he draws down to, then I draw down to. We force him. So.
Terrific curling.
Okay.
Once again, Saskatchewan's going to remove this, but they're going to attempt to, and it's very important for them to roll a little bit back towards the center line.
Just straight pick.
If they don't, they'll certainly leave a big pocket there.
Good.
Picks it out. Corey Kohutch on his first rock of his second end, up 2-0.
Cut it up a bit because you tapped. Like you were there, you were good.
Thanks.
Cut it up a bit. Get a nice release. So.
And Gary Weiss is going to try to stick one back in there just a little bit better this time. He's got an option to come right back to that Yellowstone, or he can, if he can completely bury this, in fact even overbury it slightly, just slightly above the tee line would be ideal.
He took 4 ice and dumped it to make up for it, and then I gave him kind of a clean.
Gary Weiss, graduate of Lakehead University. His first rock of the
Teams are having a real tough time keeping it above the tee line, and it looks like this one might have a little extra on it also.
just gliding there, Rogalski and Beasley watching.
A long time to move.
Leave it higher, leave it higher.
Sweep it, West. West, sweep it. West.
Terrific weight, just having troubles getting that rock to cross that center line in time.
Dead weight, it's not catching the curl.
So get rid of it clean here, Dave, or do you want to stick around?
Fine.
Well, I think for Saskatchewan here, it would be nice
A little lighter.
to
We
move
can nose it.
to roll
Just
back
hit
to the center
3/4
line,
something or
change the
whatever.
shot up. Also, it takes away a bit of a pocket that he would leave there if he hit that on the nose.
Great.
And the more pressure you can put on an opposing team, the better.
Whoa.
The Saskatchewan champions are Corey Kohutch will hit, roll, out of the house.
Mission accomplished.
I almost give it the. Did you see that? I think if I'd have touched it though before the hog line, I'm okay. I don't think it burns it. It has to be after, eh?
Interesting comment there from Corey. We're using the Eye of the Hog
That's what I
Curling
thought. I
Canada
thought when I put
rocks
my finger
here
out of it.
on most of the sheets in Kelowna. They are censored rocks that pick up if you have your hand on the rock after the hog line, and he was talking about making sure that he got it out of his hand before it crossed that sensor. You're looking always for the 2 greens, not the 2 reds lights. Gary Weiss, his final rock, he needs a good chunk of the 8-foot to pick up the single.
No back, you're all on your own. Where is it?
Northern Ontario without backing, they're saying at this point.
Yeah, that rock's hanging out there. He's
Sweepers
just-
drop right off.
Do we need backing here?
This is a cold draw at this point.
And that one is slipping. Wes Lang will take the sweep at the tee line, and that rock will slide back 12 foot. It's a steal of 1 for Saskatchewan to take a 3-0 lead after 2 ends.
Krejci says he needed to be on the other side sweeping it.
Well, anytime you can put pressure on the opposing skip, you have an opportunity.
Travelers Curling Championship is one of the newer events on the Canadian curling scene. It actually began as the Dominion Curling Club Championship, and it was the brainchild of George Cook. He's a former president and CEO of the Dominion of Canada General Insurance Company. George was a club curler himself. He felt that there were a lot of events for the elite curlers, but not necessarily for the club curlers. So those participating in leagues like you and I do, Dave, from September to April each year, and then giving back to represent the clubs and then go on and represent our province. So from that vision, George created an advisory committee, and that knowledge and the depth of the sport, and collaborated on how to make this event come to life. The Dominion was acquired by Travelers in November of 2013, and through Travelers' commitment to curling, it allowed the brand to be in every curling club across Canada. These curling clubs located in communities where Travelers offers their home, auto, and business insurance products through independent brokers. And we've had the chance with the Travelers to enter the coast from we were in Halifax the year that this rink here, Corey Kohutch, won in 2014. It's been in Ontario a couple times, Prince Edward Island, and of course we are in Kelowna this year. Next year it goes to Kingston, Ontario, and the Cataraqui Golf and Curling Club will play host there to the 2017 championship. Back in our feature game at Sounded like a possible pick for Northern Ontario.
Yeah, pretty unfortunate there. Now, it sure gives Saskatchewan a chance to maybe run through this end with very little issues. You only get that one free guard.
65.
Dave, this would be a bit of a mental test, I think, for Saskatchewan. You're up 3-0. You know that you win one of the 2 games today. You're in first place, but you still have to keep it together for a few more ends, and you've got a lot of curling ahead of you. What do you start thinking about in this end when you do get up?
No, just leave it.
Well, that becomes the issue. Having an early lead is always a hard thing to protect because, like you say, there is so much curling to become.
Go at the end, hard.
And it's
hard.
very
Dig
easy
it over.
to get into a bit of a defensive shell like you would
Hard.
in other sports like hockey or football.
Good.
And getting into that defensive shell often allows the opposition to kind of eke their way back into the game. And very hard to turn the offense back on after it's been off for a few ends.
Swingy ice, too. It can be challenged if you start playing the peel hit game. A couple nose peels or hit.
Hard line.
Yeah, no question about that.
Hard line.
With swingy ice, there's always a chance for the opposition to get back into the game. So you can't completely abandon the offensive approach and just go strictly to defense.
Yep.
So we see Mark Beasley Stone slipping to the back of the forefoot.
I think Kohut should be happy just to eliminate this rock and roll away. Doesn't need any rocks behind the tee line.
Hurry! Hurry!
David Schmerler.
Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
Stone that was in the forefoot and roll over to the right of the house.
I'm not sure. That might have grabbed something right out of his hand. Make sure those sweepers, the front end, get the path cleared for them. There is every once in a while a piece of debris will be up there.
Oh, you want to come to freeze? Yeah. Yep, freeze.
Opportunity now for Northern Ontario to get a rock in front of that yellow stone at the 9 o'clock position.
Aaron Rogalski, as soon as he heads home from this competition, this curling competition, he'll be testing for his black belt in Taekwondo.
Line's really good, guys. Hard line. Hard now. It's going hard. All right,
Brooker's just a little bit, but great weight.
Yeah, it's not a bad spot. Unfortunately, it overcurled just slightly. Saskatchewan's going to remove the shot rock now. Opportunity to lie 3. Or 2, sorry. Northern Ontario is looking to play another rock down to that yellow stone. His other option would be to maybe try to sneak one around that yellow rock in the top of the 12-foot. The danger with this being that he could set up a fairly routine double. He sticks this in the wrong spot.
Close. Yep. Yep. Whoa. Close. Yep. 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 Hard. Whoa. 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 Good shot. Good shot.
Pretty good shot for Northern Ontario there. Lies 2. And improves the angle from that
nice, normal.
9 o'clock position in Red Rock. That Yellowstone now is a little bit behind the red.
David Krejci, and looking to hit the one at the back of the forefoot. It's half a rock.
Killing me.
Goes away. Now a real good opportunity again for Northern Ontario. Now if they can sneak one around that one in the top 12, have a chance to set up a 3-pointer here.
Maybe another beer would be a good idea, eh?
We know Curl's enough to make this shot.
Darren Serkan in his first rock of this third end. Northern Ontario trailing by 3. Darren's father, Ernie, was a 5th man in the 1998 Brier and a 3-time Northern Ontario representative at the Masters in the National Play. Curling all in the family. A number of teams out here actually have father, son, or mother-daughter combinations playing out there, which you don't get that, certainly not in a lot of Briers or Scotties, but there's quite a few matchups, or quite a few teams out here with that dynamic, and it's really neat to see to wear the provincial crest or territorial crest on your back with matching last names or family connections. Great shot by Serkan around that top Saskatchewan rock.
Absolutely. See about 2/3 of that, Darren. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see Saskatchewan make a little bit of a run at this double, or a hit and roll anyway over to the other red. Gotta be careful not to pick out his own.
Gotta hit what you see.
Throwing the up weight here, coming off the center line. This rock will have a tendency to move hard.
Krejci with the big weight.
Whoa.
Got to get off that center line. It's floating. Piece. Not enough to move it out.
Bit of a mistake there.
And they couldn't be more even on that center line as well now, Dave.
And a real good opportunity to stick another one in that, behind that guard in the top of the 12 foot.
Ah, sit there.
Same spot.
A little more, I think.
Same spot.
Gotta go. Gotta go. Go, go, go.
Hard, guys, hard.
Come on!
Hard.
Hard!
Come on, you gotta touch the ball.
on,
Touch the ball.
hard, hard,
Touch
hard,
the enemy. Let's go. Let's
Come
go.
on!
Well, the boys are working hard on that.
Serkan asking Beasley scrub that one in.
Excellent job by the sweepers there to make sure that they got third shot out of that.
Yeah, I told you. I thought I had more.
Not the easiest of doubles either way, really.
Do we try it?
Yeah,
Do we
Cole
try
Hutch
it?
is in a
Hitting
bit
him
of
in
a
the
jam
crotch?
here.
And looking at the crotch yellow-red right now. Discussion
Well,
about it.
I got a maybe
Yeah,
on my
if you can
last
drill
one.
that-
Let's try something
that
to get a
yellow
couple of them
onto the
out right
red.
now. So
And
let's give it a go.
subsequently,
Yeah, right in the crotch.
I think he'd be,
we
he'd
gotta
be
hit this
delighted to
one
be able to get rid
A
of
little
2 stones
higher.
here.
So okay.
Oh, that's a blister, huh? Really good. You got it. That's nice.
Just hit those two right in the crotch. We might get lucky and get all three, but
I think it's
At least we get
important
a
here to
couple
focus
anyway.
on making one of the 2 raises and not try to make both of them at the same
Sometimes
time.
you go all in and
Almost has to hit his
you come out all out.
Exactly.
Gotta go right in the crotch.
whoa, whoa, whoa,
Real good
Whoa!
chance here. It's close.
whoa!
Go Hutch has been perfect so far. Gets one of them. And Northern Ontario will escape sitting 2 after that one.
It's all right.
A lot of applause here up in the Kelowna Curling Club. The crowd has
Yeah.
grown throughout the week with locals and fans
just
from
throw
the
a little
different
more, yeah.
provinces and
Yeah.
territories joining us.
I hate to bunch him again. Put him anywhere close to here, it might leave us triple.
Yeah, it's a
Top
wonderful
a little
field here.
bit,
It's got
top to
a
here.
real national
Doesn't-
feel to it.
It's
It's
gonna rip it into there anyway.
It's pretty good. We got that double
Very
staff
Canadian,
there now.
It's gotta
Couldn't
be
get more
top 8.
Canadian
Oh, he's-
with
But we
leave
can
us out
play to
here?
get the hit and roll too, eh?
Some good matchups over the years in both men's and women's
Gotta be wide open, though.
playdowns recently, with Northern Ontario joining the Scotties. Krista McCarville out of Thunder Bay was in the final of the Scotties last year.
Yeah, terrific history out of both provinces.
It's unfortunately a pretty easy double, but
In the curling community, we think of Northern Ontario as its own province.
Cody's gonna come in top four, perfect.
Good shot there of the two Northern Ontario Vices side by side, having a little chat.
Real good opportunity here for the Northern Ontario team. If they can sneak one around that center guard, we can still call it a center guard, even though it's in the 12-foot.
Gary Weiss and his first rock.
Little tight.
Gary made an absolutely
got?
clutch draw in a game earlier this week,
Where is the rope?
facing a whole bunch of counters. I believe that was against Manitoba on sheet 3. And really shifted the momentum in that game. It was an important draw. This one, though, I don't know if that's going to get around that yellow stone. It doesn't. The double opportunity is now back in the hands of Saskatchewan.
Yeah, missed opportunity there. Chance for Kohutch to get out of this.
Well, either
end,
or, right?
Basically unscathed.
I have to get nose. If I hit half a rock on the inside and roll out, we're laying 2 and we force, eh? So, no, center of the rock. This won't curl.
So this won't curl is what Corey's saying, and you heard a good discussion there with Wes in the house saying, want to make sure he sits 2 after this. Shouldn't be able to get both of them out if he hits basically where his broom is.
Even half rock your side is okay. I roll out.
Yeah, even if it crosses this slightly, Darren, he can get them both.
Yeah,
and,
just nice normal.
even has an opportunity
like
to
firm
roll in
normal. I
behind
don't have
cover.
to fire it this time, so.
He says it's not going to curl here, and he must be throwing this very hard.
Well, no.
Nothing yet.
Curl.
Krejci and Schmerler
Curl.
all up at the end.
Just enough.
Just enough to get it out, and Saskatchewan will sit 1, 2, 3. And Gary Weiss is facing a few on his last here.
I threw it outside quarter. I threw it outside, like I was about 2 inches out.
Yeah, okay, normal then.
No, none of them are anywhere outside in.
Looks like Gary Weiss is going to play the hit for his solo.
No,
His other option would be the intern draw.
It's just on your release arc, just drifting a little bit, yeah. Oh well, unscathed.
Oh, no, it's okay.
Bit of a fall here on another sheet.
Yeah, nasty fall by the Newfoundland girl.
David, I'm gonna go.
And a bit of a break in the action
Take her
here,
down
make sure
there.
she's all right.
We'll just take a break while we reset here on sheet 5.
Right.
Before there was ice, there was our hallway. I was always the shy, quiet kid who loved math. But when I saw math come alive in the geometry of the game, I found my passion and my voice. It's a game of precision, a game of inches. It's the equation that now defines who I am.
Back here on our sheet, a bit of a spill on the sheet next to us. The gentleman just making sure that everything was okay, and the Newfoundland player is A-okay. She's just going to take a short break. But Gary Weiss with an important hit and roll to sit 1. He does, and Northern Ontario finds the scoreboard. 3-1 Saskatchewan leads after a nice hit and roll.
Excellent shot by Gary. That's big pressure. That he misses that shot, and we might as well call this a game. But he's certainly back in this one now. The very important score of 1 there.
Going around the sheets right now, looking at other men's play on sheet 1. Quebec sitting at 1-3, playing winless. Nunavut 0-4. That game is locked at 1. Over on sheet 11, the Northwest Territories have a 2-0 lead on New Brunswick. Both of those teams with 1 win so far. Prince Edward Island in a very important game in this pool. They're playing 4-1 Manitoba. It's Manitoba with a 2-1 lead. Our feature game is 3-1 now for Saskatchewan. Also in play on sheet 7, Ontario. They are perfect at 4-0, and they're up 1-0 on Yukon, who are 2-2. Yukon still in the mix in this pool as well. And on sheet 9, Nova Scotia trails British Columbia 2-1. BC at 3-1 so far on the men's side. All the curling scores can be found curling.ca/scoreboard for both men's and women's action. And of course on our other YouTube channel you can watch Manitoba women taking on Northwest Territories. So big point there for Northern Ontario. What's the plan now for the guys from Thunder Bay?
Well, they're going to try to muck it up as much as they can. They're going to get some rocks in play and force some mistakes out of the Saskatchewan team. Mission accomplished with their first storm in a very good spot, just short of the rings.
Dave, you're a lead. How important is the lead position at this point in the game especially?
Well, it depends who you talk to, I guess. Yeah, the lead can make or break a game.
You slip that one in the house, it's a different end for sure.
It's a wasted end.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So good start for Northern Ontario putting up the center guard.
It's a game of rock positioning.
Equally as important that Saskatchewan doesn't slip behind the tee line on this one, and that one is pretty good, top 4 foot for West.
As good a spot as you can get that. Now Northern Ontario is just going to follow them down and try to freeze on top of it and try to get into a freeze game into the 4 foot.
Line's good, stay close. Top 8.
How's the line?
Back
All
here.
there, yeah.
Now, he doesn't want to be deep here. That's the only real mistake he can make on this shot. Looks pretty good.
Hard! Hard! Hard!
No bounce, no bounce.
Hard!
They're going to go around it.
Okay, that's good too.
Fine.
Schmerler just in the house right now.
What do you like? It's all right, Mark.
So again, big game for Saskatchewan. If they do pull it off here against Northern Ontario, they would still have another game later today, but that would not so much matter in terms of their standings into the playoffs. They would finish, a win here would finish them into first place, and they go directly into the semifinal, which is Friday evening. And they'd really love that spot and avoid having to slip into the quarterfinals. We have 2 pools. Top team out of each pool goes directly into the semifinals. Crossover for the second and third position playing quarterfinals. And of course, the finals going Saturday morning in Kelowna.
Final spot in this game. Stress-free.
Yeah.
Round robin finale.
I also believe this is, if I'm not mistaken, the gold medal game is played on this sheet too, so it's an opportunity. I don't believe Saskatchewan or Northern Ontario have played on this sheet yet. So good chance to see the rocks and see this ice, and no doubt they'll want to bank that. Not get too far ahead of themselves, but start thinking about what if they do make it that far. This one, though, is going to come up almost to nestle up to the other Northern Ontario guard. Did they want that one in, Dave?
I think they would have preferred that one to be into the rings. Yes, at this point with the lead, they really don't want more clutter out in front of the rings. But it is close enough to the rings that it's going to be promotable.
Aaron Rogalski wanted to thank his wife Heather for being here, big supporter. 2 boys, Connor and Gavin, 10 and 7 at home watching the game with their grandmother. And he wanted to give a shout out to his parents, Ron and Josie, and sisters Rhonda, Marshall, and Alana. Rogalski's rock is going to slip through there. Getting caught maybe in the speed as we come back towards the glass in this 4th end.
Yeah, the tendency for this curling club is for the speed to be a touch quicker coming home towards the glass in the even ends. And that might be tricking the Northern Ontario team somewhat.
Line's good. Oh!
Real good chance for the Saskatchewan team to really put some pressure on Northern Ontario here if they can stick one into the top of the forefoot. Behind cover. You don't want this to be deep.
Schmerler's rock is sliding back 4 foot too, but as you said, Dave, there is a pocket there for Northern Ontario.
Yeah, this gives Weiss way out. See how that rock over curls there. Boy, that's a big swing.
I got an 8. We're short probably. We'll try it though. Keep an eye up.
Now this rock is way out there, but there's no fear of it not coming back.
Guys, take a look.
Beasley and Serkan with the switch on the sweep.
Oh, are we overcook it?
They talked about it. Did they overcook it? And that will slide. Did hear them say a couple times as they were sweeping, they themselves agnowledging head up, but
I don't know. There's no way that should have been there.
yeah, you can hear Serkan saying he did not think that was going to slide that far.
One tendency at this club too also is once a rock has been played down a certain path a number of times, it does have a tendency to speed up in that spot. And the inactive side will have an opportunity to frost up somewhat. So every rock down this spot will be just a smidge quicker than the previous.
This is Schmerler's second stone. This one is also sliding. So both teams getting a little tricked on the side, coming towards the glass on the in-turn if you're right-handed.
Yeah, just a little quicker.
We do take a break. The previous game, they were struggling a little bit in the first half of that game. Gary made the shot in the fourth end, and then it was just a momentum shift in the second half. So I think it'll be really important for whoever scores in this end to hold on to that momentum. If you go to the break, Dave, you want to be on a positive note, that's for sure.
Oh, there's no question about it. You take that break and you come back and you're feeling good about things. It's a much easier game.
And in a game that Saskatchewan leads 3-1, whoever does score here will certainly change the dynamic of the game.
Yeah, Saskatchewan's got to be feeling pretty good about themselves right now. If they can score a point here, get a 3-point lead going into the break,
Stay close, yep.
they'll be in the mindset of taking this home
Stay close,
and
yep.
having a nice
That really snapped.
break before the semifinal.
Oh man, what is going on?
You can hear Serkan, the frustration in his voice.
Can't get flat spots already, eh?
It really took off on them just around the hog line there, and it caught them off guard, wicking the top one.
Yeah, he's complaining he might have hit a flat spot. The ice does have a tendency to break down somewhat here in the second half of this game. Usually it's fifth end, sixth end where this starts to happen, but might be happening just a little earlier today.
David Krejci in his first stone of the fourth end.
Hurry! Oh! Oh!
Oh, real good chance to put Northern in trouble. Northern Ontario in big trouble, and there it is. A great hit.
What a shot.
Yeah.
All sorts of trouble now for Northern Ontario. They do have a bit of a pocket if they can get it around those somewhat staggered center guards.
Yeah, they got to be careful not to give up multiple points here for sure. This is a very important shot here. They have to get this one into that scoring area.
Well, guys, we're all in now, I guess. eh?
We're all in now,
Yeah.
you can hear Darren say.
I don't know. I can play the run.
That just jams too.
Do you like the run here, Dave? You heard Darren mention it.
Get more than one with the run anyway.
The runs, it's a great shot if you make it.
Yeah.
But if you don't, boy, you're in trouble. If you don't make it, you run off that whole front, and now there's no protection. You don't have hammer, and they're lying three.
So he'll get a chance to play the same draw he just did on his first one.
Hard line.
Yeah, I think this is the right play if he can get one in there.
Hard line.
This is going, though.
Hard line. Let's go, guys.
Diving with Beasley and Rogalski on the sweep to try and get it around that Saskatchewan front stone. Not quite. They take one of those runs away with the bump over, but still a Northern Ontario Redstone out front that might become a factor.
Yeah, right now I bet he's Weiss is sizing that rock up and trying to figure out how to get that particular rock into the 4-foot. Because I don't think his path is going to be there after this shot. Kohutch is going to try to block up that center. Beautiful delivery.
95.
Line's good, yep. Room, whoa. Wait only.
Good rotation on this stone, also very important on this particular surface.
Yeah, with swing like this, it's almost indicative of arena ice, as they say, with lots of curl, especially late. So plugs the hole for Krejci. Redstone there from Northern Ontario up front still could be enticing.
Perfect. Wait, actually everything was.
Looks like they're playing the tap.
Yeah, he's going to have to tangle this one in here, and he's got to make this.
You saw his draw, he threw through, Schmerler?
He's got some options with it. Anywhere on the high side there should put it into a pretty decent position.
Yeah, we need good back line. Yeah, I like it.
He's got to cut the. He's got to cut that the 3 yellows down to 1 at worst at this
Touch
point.
more, sir.
That's lots, Gary. That's too much.
You have to throw to make the shot. A little bit.
Very
Okay,
weight sensitive
good.
shot here.
Like that one probably.
Are we looking to be throwing about backline weight? Needing to hit it on the high side.
I do. Really like that, I kind of stay away from. Yeah.
First rock for the Northern Ontario champions, and Gary Weiss out of the Port Arthur Curling Club in this 4th end, trailing by 2, needs to play the tap and find the button.
Hard all the way.
Hold it there, Rogie.
Hard,
Hold it
Rogie.
there.
Rogalski on the sweep as Beasley
Flick
watches.
Off, flick off. Take ours, Mark.
And now the angles are a little more staggered.
Yeah, that overcurled on him. Gary's having a real tough time with this intern side here, trying to figure out where to exactly to put that broom.
That's not bad, eh? He's going to run this in, or he's going to try and whack something, but we should get a couple.
Kohutch thinking ahead to Weiss's next shot.
It won't go there. No, but it won't go there. It's curling this way, right? So it's going to come in here.
Weiss has those 2 reds on the left of our screen here that can be promoted. If Kohutch can get one into the top of the 8-foot there, he could take away the obvious raise and force a wide raise on the one that's in the 8-foot.
Nothing on the other side there, Dave. Eh?
I don't see
It's all
anything that's
staggered.
very good. No, he may be able to maybe to cut Saskatchewan down to 1.
I think he had something under his slider there.
It's like a rock or something out here.
I see lots of rocks.
No shortage of granite.
Rough sport.
Just making sure the path is good, although it's pretty far over there.
Good housekeeping 101.
Yep.
Like boulders caught my slider. I
Okay,
like
time to refocus, Corey.
Yep.
Hey? Yeah.
Has Hammer up to 4th end. We talked about it already, Dave. As you head to the break, get momentum. Even if you get 1 here, you have a pretty good lead on the team from Northern Ontario. And sitting right now, 3 on his first, Corey Kohutch.
We're all there.
Krejci and Schmerler say
Line's
they're
good.
all there.
Line's really good. Hurry.
Line only.
Hurry.
Line only.
Yeah, it's
Weight
starting to
seems
move now.
all there.
Whoa.
Yeah, he doesn't want to put this in the back of the button
Yeah.
to give
Hard.
Northern Ontario an easy
Hard.
out.
Wait Really must have come off that. They were calling it all there and even a bit concerned that it was a bit heavy. And you heard Schmirler say it just died.
Yeah, that's getting into the second half of this game. It's the ice will flatten out somewhat.
I knew that.
Brooms down at this point. If you're anywhere in the ballpark with your weight, you gotta keep those brooms down.
That's really tough, right?
It is really tough. And Dave, does he have?
No, I'm saying nose to
Well,
7.
they're looking at
It's got two angles.
two
here.
angles. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does he have backing on any of them? Really?
Yeah, he sure does.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sure
Nose
does.
hit 7. If we hit it high, we ram it in here. If not, we come off in here.
You can hear them talking about it just now. It's all about the weight he
If it
wants to
hangs, at
throw
least
here.
we jam it right here, right?
He has an opportunity to play this
Maybe
with some
not.
weight
Maybe
if he
give it
wants
up
to.
5 or 6.
Other option, of course, being with
1,
about
2,
backline
3,
weight,
4,
he can
please.
just pump it
This
into the
jams
4
here.
foot
If that
area.
jams here, our shooter's going to be right here, though. We'll be all right. The only thing that can't happen
I think Gary's
is
having
that.
troubles with the ice on this intern side, not knowing exactly where to
I'd say
put the
it's really
broom.
tough
He
now.
might be thinking about playing with this with some weight, where it's a little more controllable and a little more
Yeah, you
predictable.
You can almost hear Serkan talking about limiting the damage more than trying to steal here. Thinking about use this as backing to maybe give up 1 or 2. But they do take their first of 2 timeouts. An important shot here by certainly by any stretch. It's
Yeah, game's on the line here. There's no point in rushing through this one.
1 minute timeout for Northern Ontario, and they'll look at the options.
Really, it's game over.
We got a couple options in there.
Maybe not really.
Heard a couple options, but that was the Saskatchewan skip who said that, and they certainly do have a couple of options in this, as Kohut has hammer. Pretty good spot for the team from the Nutana.
Hang high, we run it into the pocket, we're sitting right here. Right? And we're probably second shot, buried.
Yeah, I think he'd be delighted to give up just 1 here if he could somehow get that red into that 4 foot position.
Just nose or a hair
If you
high.
play weight on the top right one, that's in that one right there, for air, but you don't have these as backing, and I'm pointing to these without a demonstrator, but the ones over on the 4 foot, you don't have those as backing, but you do have the your own red to come off of, but even
Exactly,
still,
an
that's
option
you're still probably giving up 1 or 2, and then Kohut still has his to come, so it looks like they're opting for the top one into their 8 foot one. Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah, that's what they're doing, and he's going to play it with weight.
A lot can happen, but it is nervous times for the Northern Ontario rink.
The problem with playing with this with weight is he does have to be a little bit more accurate. Game on the line here for Gary Weiss.
Certainly the biggest shot of the game we've seen so far. He needs to navigate his guard into the 4 foot. It's close. In through the hole.
And that's the danger with playing with the weight.
And they will sit 3rd shot after the dust settles.
You have to be so exact to make that raise and stick it behind the cover there. Kohut has a chance here now for 4 if he wants to play the hit, or he could draw for 3.
If I ever go wide, he said, but that would be really bad luck even if you did go wide and wiggled in there.
Yeah, you got to think he'd still be in there for 2 points anyway.
He is looking at the hit. A draw 4-3 would put him up 6-1 and in the driver's seat.
Yeah, he's going to throw a rocket. He's put the broom. Going to throw this hard. If he rolls out, it's still 3 points for his side.
Nose hit for 4, but I gotta fire it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but I can't touch it back. Like I have to nose hit this with with Peel.
Bounce out too far. Maybe that normal.
Yeah,
What do you think the odds are?
doesn't matter. If I get through the hole, we get it anyways, right? So.
Good discussion there between Krejci and Kohut. If I get through the hole, I get it anyways. And
Hoping it's going to come up to the nose.
Krejci saying he wanted to make sure that they get three. Kohut's final rock before we head to the break. Already up 3-1, Saskatchewan with hammer. Nothing to it yet. Finds the port. Yes. Nose hit for 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's a 7-1 lead for the Saskatchewan champions. They're undefeated here in Kelowna, and that will go a long way to help keep them there.
Real good shot by Corey. He focused, he threw it hard.
Before there was ice, there was our hallway at home. I was always the shy, quiet kid who loved math. But when I saw math come alive in the geometry of the game, I found my passion and my voice. It's a game of precision, a game of inches. It's the equation that now defines who I am. Before there was ice,
This ice is everything. It's where I come to feel close to her, to feel whole. This building helped raise me when my mother no longer could. When I step on the ice, she steps with me. My dad is my rock. We're a team now, like the four of us when we step on the ice. People say that this isn't a contact sport, but that's not true. It contacts you where you need it the most.
Travelers Curling Club Championship in Kelowna, British Columbia. Darren McEwen alongside Dave Meloff for coverage of this men's draw between Northern Ontario and Saskatchewan. Dave, it was a big 4 points in the fourth end, and Saskatchewan is off to a 7-1 lead at the break.
Yeah, they're off to the races now. Big win here for Saskatchewan, propel them right into that semifinal game.
Looking at some of the other scores in the women's draw right now, on sheet 10 we have 1-3 Yukon taking on 4-1 Ontario. Ontario has a 3-1 lead. It's all locked at 2 on sheet 12 between the New Brunswick women and British Columbia, the host province. Alberta, with a steal of 4 in the fourth end, has a 11-1 lead on Nunavut. 5-1 Quebec. 2 wins apiece in the standings. Saskatchewan women sitting at 3-1 in the standings, playing Newfoundland Labrador. Really important game next door to us right now. Saskatchewan ladies are up 3-1, and it's a 3-3 tie on sheet 8 as Manitoba, which is the Manitoba ladies, are at 3-1 in the standings, taking on the Northwest Territories. Those are the women's scores. You can watch the women's Manitoba Northwest Territories game right now on our other YouTube channel. Again, that one's tied at 3 points apiece. In other men's play, Quebec right now playing Nunavut. Nunavut men are looking for their first win of the tournament. Right now, Quebec, though, has the 3-1 advantage. It's 3-2, the Territories leading New Brunswick on sheet 11. Prince Edward Island trails Manitoba 4-2. Manitoba, they are 4-1. Their only loss, they're in the same pool as Northern Ontario, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba's only loss came to Saskatchewan. So Prince Edward Island, if they hope to stay in this tournament for playoff contention, they will want to rally back there. Ontario are perfect in the men's Pool B action. They are 4-0, and they're taking on the Yukon, but that is a close game right now. 2-2. The Yukon have had a number of close games, and they could certainly play a factor because they are not out of it for playoffs in Pool B. And Nova Scotia also at 2-2, taking on BC in men's play. BC up 3-1 in the standings, and BC leading 4-3 on the scoreboard in this draw. We have another draw coming up this afternoon in Kelowna. That's at 3 o'clock Pacific time, both men's and women's play. 12 sheets in action, so it does take some time to go around the rings here in Kelowna, but we talked about it, Dave. It's also a very loud curling club because you have 12 games going on. The ceiling is not vaulted, so it does reflect down on the players too. It can be a factor.
Oh yeah, it's always been a loud club. It's a big echo in this club. Big voice goes a long way here. Real hard to keep your voice for a whole week, though. A lot of hand signals are starting to come out there, I've noticed, around the sheets, and hand signals are sometimes the best way to communicate.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of people that don't necessarily like watching the one sweeper when we get into the new kind of style of sweeping, but it can be a benefit for communication because the other sweeper can kind of be your navigator and look up at your skip, help you out, provide that communication to you. And in a venue like this with the acoustics, it certainly helps you out.
Well, that's a good point also. I'm not sure I'm convinced that it's the best way to go about things, but it's a little bit after my time.
I like it because it saves your shoulders for a long week. Also a challenge too if we have a few teams out here with same first names, so you got to get used to yelling out which sweeper you want. I play on a team with another Darren, so it's a challenge. Come up with our nicknames. Back underway in the fifth then. This is West Lang, Saskatchewan's lead. Asked for first stone in the house.
Yeah, they're working hard. They really don't want any center guards or corner guards of any kind at this point. No question about it. This is going away. In the fifth end is typically where we've always found that the ice will start to break down, and you'll have to add. You have to add 5-6 feet. So, give it a chance kind of weight, we always used to call it.
And you can follow along all the action. We mentioned curling.ca/scoreboard for all the scores. We have curling.ca/2016 Travelers for full list of teams, draw information, news, headlines on social channels as well. Facebook.com/Curling Canada, Instagram, as well as Twitter. The teams here that are competing are all competing off the ice for a number of things. One of them is a social challenge. So if you see photos of teams in Kelowna, give it a like, give it a share, help them out by boosting their social reach, and the team with the most reach throughout the week will actually win 4 Gold Line custom brooms.
Either or, whatever you want.
Dave, have you had a chance to bid on anything in the silent auction yet?
No, I had a little bit of a look at it. I'm going to revisit that after this game. Lots of amazing merchandise and had there for all.
That actually is also a competition for the players. Each team comes to Kelowna with usually a flavor from their home province or territory. Some really cool memorabilia, as he said, and local items. And folks here in Kelowna, whether they're opposition or local members of the Kelowna Curling Club, can bid on those. You can also go online and help support the foundation that goes towards. And we have a fundraising challenge. The team that actually comes away with the most bid cash and donations from it will win a grant for their curling club, a $6,000 grant for their curling club to make improvements. Last year it went to a Nunavut team to help out their curling club in the north.
Isn't that a great idea?
Yeah, it is. It's a really cool idea, and you can come away with it as winners, and you can come away with it with some pretty cool items, even if you just win in the bid auction items. Corey Kohutch is wasting no time going up there to get rid of that very long corner guard of Northern Ontario's, just over the hog line.
Yeah, terrific shot by Beasley to get one into the top 12 foot in front of the Yellowstone there. And
That's better.
Now Saskatchewan's going to go into full defense mode here.
Some right here.
Hey, I think we can put it down. We're okay. We can.
Gary Weiss is racking his brain here, trying to figure out a way to score some points. He's looking at some options, pointing them out to his team. Talked about splitting the center guard, make 2 corner guards.
Back 4 split.
That's what he's trying. He's going to use a throw ball back 4 weight, split those 2, create 2 center guard or 2 corner guards, excuse me. And he'll still have his 1 redstone in front of the yellow.
So we are day 4 here in Kelowna, and this is the guy that anyone would like to see right now. Rogalski throwing. He is a chiropractor, he and his wife, and no doubt could be in popular demand here as some of these teams have played, what now, 6 games once this finishes. If the hot tub at the hotel doesn't do it for you, Dr. Rogalski might be able to help you with that.
Well, came up a little short on that weight. That seems to be the tendency here early in this end, as everybody's having struggles getting it all the way down there. It seems to have slowed up 4 or 5 feet.
Is it close enough for the drag effect here?
Yeah, it certainly is, actually.
Can you explain that to us, Dave?
Well, these rocks are 44 pounds. If he can hit this on the outside, on the high side, without a telescreen, it'd be a little harder to explain at this point.
That's
but,
true.
Yeah, if you get it, it's a game of angles.
Yeah.
And if the obvious angle isn't so obvious when it comes to the drag effect.
What I like to say is if there's 2 rocks together that close enough to create the drag effect, think of it as just almost hitting 1 rock. So if you hit it on, we'll call it the high side, the right side in that case, the second rock would actually go to the left, as opposed to coming back to the right. The further apart they are, the drag effect can be negated or completely gone. It's certainly a science. I love showing new curlers that, giving them the test, show them where do they think it's going to go, and then well, take this back to your science teacher.
Yeah, well, to anybody who's played pool, it doesn't make any sense to you that it would drag that way, but remembering that these rocks are 40 to 44 pounds, it's a little bit different science.
Had a chance to play bocce against a couple of members of the Saskatchewan men's team a couple nights ago as well. One of the fine establishments in downtown Kelowna has an indoor bocce surface, and he won. He beat us.
That's hard to believe.
Sarah Evans and I of Alberta played, and it came down to a measurement, and that's a nice shot there by David Krejci of Saskatchewan.
Well, we still has a corner guard to work with over there on the right side of the screen, as we see it.
All right. Whoa. Almost run across the back line.
Now down 6 points, he's going to have to score multiple points here, and it wouldn't be at all disappointed for him to get this into the back of the 8-foot and maybe entice the Saskatchewan team into some sort of a freeze game.
Yep.
Close, Rogie.
Yep.
Darren Surkan.
Sweep, Rogie.
Hold it.
He's tight early. There certainly appears to be some flat spots out in the ice right now, and I think that one caught one also.
So I just quit now? We're not even going to sweep, nothing.
Showing their frustration towards it.
65 would be the back line to Hogg, Dave, the time he mentioned.
It would be, yeah, I believe that's what they're using.
So not exceptionally fast ice, but...
Yep, hard game.
And the hitting machine here, David Krejci, will get 1, 2 of those stones out, leaves the corner guard of but his own color.
You throw it.
Be nice for Gary to get one, like I say, to the back of this house a little bit, maybe even bury it around that yellow one that's in the 12-foot. There should be some big swing here once it gets across that center line.
Surkan is a coach of his daughter's softball team. This Northern Ontario rink has a lot of athletic ties to it. Taekwondo, softball. He'll wrap that one around.
Yeah, might as well get this one as deep as you can. You got to try to hide 2 or 3 behind that one. Very nice shot. I don't think Kohutch will be tricked into this. He's just going to try to remove the center guard, I would think.
I guess, I think it's 65.
Just taking a glance over at one of our other sheets, important game for Ontario and Yukon men right now. As previously mentioned, Ontario is 4-0. They're playing the Yukon. Yukon still in playoff contention. Ontario winning one of their games today would clinch first place. It is all Yukon in that game right now, in that end right now, tied at 2 points, but it's going to be tough for Ontario to score. So curling.ca/scoreboard for anyone watching from the Cataraqui Curling Club or anyone in Ontario cheering them on. And actually, if you are checking out the stream for Manitoba Northwest Territories, we're great streaming coverage here by the folks helping us out, and they actually get really good wide shot of both sheets beside them too, so you can sneak a view of that, or just watch the Manitoba Northwest Territories women.
Well, call me surprised here. Kohutch has been enticed to play a freeze, and he's going to come in, try to take away that red rock. I think if you're Northern Ontario, you're happy that he's throwing something soft here.
Whoa!
Hopefully you can get a mistake out of him and maybe get some multiple points.
Whoa!
Calling whoa, both actually, Wes and Corey.
Hard! Hard!
Bump on the Northern Ontario stone and fully out. It is.
Fully out, and that was huge. That was very important.
So we've seen Corey Kohutch with the big shots, big hit weight, and a little bit more finesse around that corner guard, and he's made a lot today.
We're just gonna throw a bump. Try to roll it far.
Bumper weight hit and roll here for Gary Weiss.
Father of 3, Carter, Jordan, and Owen on his first rock.
Close!
Close,
Yep.
Bogey.
Hard!
Rogalski being called to hold the line.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Mark, a little bit, Mark.
Beasley now trying to make it get over that center line and roll behind. About a half to 3/4 exposed.
Pretty good effort. Kohutch just threw this stone, so he's got a pretty good idea where to put the stick, and similar type throw, and he should be out of trouble here.
Talked about the athleticism of the Northern Ontario team. Gary and his wife Carolyn, they're avid runners, and Carolyn's here in Kelowna. She actually just competed in the Boston Marathon in 2015. I was talking to her before the game, and she's looking for routes in Kelowna to check out. We have another runner here too with our chair. Gary Brucker is a avid marathon runner too. It's a great city for that, that's for sure. The Flat Lake helps.
Yeah, Gary's done a terrific job as the chairman of this event, putting together a wonderful staff of volunteers. And by the way, he did a resoundingly good effort at that national anthem today. I'm very impressed.
That's pretty good.
He's a good friend of mine. I'm going to be able to rib him about that one for a little while.
You can always rewind these games too, and that is, I think, preserved forever in the internet.
That's wonderful stuff.
Wes Forget of Ontario helped him, as did the Saskatchewan women.
Yes.
Speaking of nice jobs, that was a good shot again by Corey Kohutch, getting that Northern Ontario counter around, and
yeah, mission accomplished. Another end down, and Prince Edward, or Northern Ontario, excuse me. Gary Weiss will have a free draw for 1. Keep himself sort of alive in this game. Full 8 foot will get him the point.
nothing yet from Beasley and Rogalski.
Didn't need their help
There
at
you
all.
go.
Yeah,
Nice
top of the
confidence
lid.
boost for Weiss to put it right on the umbrella and the single point.
Well done to keep your focus through that shot.
7-2 Saskatchewan now leads after 5 ends here at the 2016 Travelers Curling Club Championship in Kelowna.
Yeah. So I don't know. Is there a strategy to come back 5 down and 3 to play?
Sixth end action underway. Gary Beasley with the lead stones here from Northern Ontario and the champions from Thunder Bay.
Strong, Gary.
Starting with a guard.
I did throw more there. I did throw more.
In other men's Pool A action, Manitoba has jumped out to a 6-2 lead over Prince Edward Island. Manitoba with previously just one loss to the Saskatchewan rink we're watching right now. Also have Quebec has jumped up to a 4-1 lead on the Nunavut men. Northwest Territories leading 3-2 on New Brunswick. And it's 2-2 Ontario Yukon right now.
Well, just here.
But to update you on that game, Yukon actually just took 2, so they are up 4-2 in a game that Ontario would like to lock up first place if they can
Hold on, Wes.
pull it out. But the Yukon are not going down without a fight there. And the Yukon, if they can hang on there, will stay very much in the playoff picture in men's Pool B action. British Columbia, the host province, is locked at 4 with Nova Scotia on sheet 9. And in our game, Saskatchewan opting to come around the slightly off-center guard. Good shot there, the eye of the hog, the green lighting up on this red rock.
Yeah, Northern Ontario's got to put all the offense to work here now. They got nothing to lose, so they're going to attack at every possible opportunity. Putting a good freeze on top of the 12. And now with the free guard zone, Kohutch does not have the opportunity to remove that yellow guard yet. He's opted to throw this rock through. Any extra rocks in play at this point aren't going to do him any favors.
Certainly tough ice to play the tick on.
Yeah, and when you don't have the hammer, playing the tick, as obvious as it is without the hammer, because you're still going to leave a corner guard.
Yeah, and often you can end up leaving 2 corner guards.
Exactly.
70?
I also like when you're
$1 million
lead
we
and
couldn't get him there going in.
you miss
right?
the tick, it can be kind of demoralizing. It's just nicer to throw it
Because
through
they're
and
unreleased, that's all.
make that the outcome as opposed to missing a shot that's quite difficult.
True story.
Lights aren't working.
Here the
75.
Northern Ontario men say the lights aren't working on this one. The eye of the hog is activated actually by tilting the rock up, cleaning it, hand on the rock, and then light up.
Oh, I got 75.
Not too much of a factor
No.
with these two teams. Neither team really scares that hog line, so I don't think that either team will be too worried about that at this point.
Hurry! Hurry!
Now we're playing the peel game.
Yeah, full into defensive mode here now for Saskatchewan.
This one,
A little fortunate there.
Man.
A little fortunate there. Gets rid of 2 stones. His shooter stays out. Has a long corner guard at this point.
Guard. Tight guard.
Pretty good opportunity for Northern Ontario here to put a little pressure on the Saskatchewan side. Lying 2 and throwing up a guard.
We have seen some comebacks in the Travelers this year. Draw 1, we watched the Ontario women taking on Alberta, and it was a 6-0 lead for Alberta, for Ontario to make it dramatic. I think it was 7-6 or 8-6 win, but it came down to the last rock. And we talked about it earlier, Dave. The switch between playing aggressive into defensive can sometimes catch teams.
Yeah, and once the other team starts making a comeback on you, boy, it's hard to get back into that offensive mode. And it is played on ice after all, so anything can happen. Saskatchewan peeling off the center guard, maybe trying to run it back onto that red. Happy at this point to keep the front clear.
'75th anniversary, actually, of the Kelowna Curling Club. How long have you played here, Dave?
74 years. I've been a member of the curling club here for about 22 years now. I made my way out to beautiful British Columbia in 1994-ish. And fortunate enough to hook on with some really great players here, and had a really good run here. Really enjoyed my time. Wonderful club, wonderful people.
Lots of different leagues. I was talking to Sasha Carter here earlier in the week. They also are adding in, or have had in the past, to some mixed doubles experimentation with leagues. They have lots of leagues during the day, and it's great for the teams because not super early, not super late, and there's no incursion into the evening league play. And it gives an opportunity for the players from the Kelowna Curling Club to come out, watch this, and then step on the ice and play on the same ice as a national championship.
Yeah, I'll be playing a little later myself.
This sheet?
I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
We do have our first final out there, and it's women's play. Alberta women picking up a 16-1 win on Nunavut. Alberta women are doing quite well in their pool. I believe they have 1 loss, and that's going to go a long way to help them look towards the weekend. David Krejci asked to peel out the front stone and hit roll over.
Yeah, and referring to what you're saying about this club, Jock Tyre, the manager here, longtime manager here, I believe he's been here 25 years, has done a wonderful job in getting new players into the game. We got some excellent novice leagues running on, I believe, Tuesday night, Friday night, and now Sunday afternoon. And it's been wonderful to see new players get into the game.
I knew BC had a lot of great curlers. I didn't quite realize until I was here, how many of them actually curl right here in Kelowna and have roots here in Kelowna. We have 4 World Championship rinks here, and the banners out there with Rick Falk, Kelly Scott, of course. We have the men's champions, Brad Kuhn from the World Juniors in 2000, Julie Sutton, is World Women's Junior Champion as well in 1988.
Yeah, we've been blessed with very many great players here.
Okay.
So Saskatchewan focused on cleaning up the front, but Northern Ontario sitting pretty decent in the house. But they are trying to dig themselves out of a hole and steal their way back into this game.
A pretty good opportunity here, too, for Northern Ontario. If they can get one miss out of Corey late in this end, I think at this point they're going to continue to throw that center guard, and Corey's going to continue to run it through. Thinking eventually Gary's going to want to maybe stick another one on top of his red one on the back of the button there. Really force the issue for Corey.
The 43-year-old managers of operations for the Ministry of Transportation of Ontario, Gary Weiss, in his first rock of this 6N.
Easy, up here. Up here, guys.
Yeah, well, still playing that center guard.
Easy.
Oh, it's over curling, it's over curling.
Easy.
See now with 2 rocks to come for Corey Kuhach, he might
It's really good.
decide to try to get one in there right now. Take a little pressure off himself.
I'm trying to think back to the last time we saw him play a cold draw to the forefoot. It's been a couple ends, I think, for Kohaj. Played away from us. He played some quiet weight taps.
Played some quiet weight, but that was backline to hack weight. So this is a little bit different of an animal.
And they're lining up the double peel, actually.
And he's going to put a lot of pressure on his last stone. Looks like he's going to try to drill that yellow into the red one at the top of the 12-foot, and at worst case, make the double peel. Other option would be just to peel that red or center guard, or to make the draw, the freeze down to the one at the back of the button.
Kohach's first 6N, up 5. Facing a bit of adversity here.
Yep. Get that rock. Yep.
And the double peel. 1, 2, spin them both out.
Decision time for Gary Weiss.
Now what do you want to do?
Yeah, he's looking to put one
Well,
of
he's just
the
gonna rip a double.
side by each with the top 12 red rock,
Stealing one doesn't
and
nothing, right?
trying to steal 2 points that way. Other option being he could throw a guard,
What?
or he could try that where he's got his broom now, trying to put the freeze onto his own rock.
Well, maybe
We give him the draw on the button, just put a tight one.
we get a jab. Or let him. We're screwed. We're 7-2.
We need 2.
These are 8N games, so
Yeah, stealing one's not going to be enough here. He needs to steal 2.
Here's an option.
That's not a bad option there. If he can get this one dead beside that other
Oh,
red,
right here.
then Corey's going to have to play some kind of run-through double to give up a steal of 1.
front end indicating they wanted one right on the button at the other end.
Yeah, I kind of like that
Maybe
myself.
touch more on this. Yeah. Touch more.
This is the spot that we saw some draws coming this way, and the fourth end,
Yes.
and some struggles on the intern draw.
Yeah, it seemed like Gary was having a tough time getting the right spot for his broom on this particular side of the sheet.
So if it comes up top 12, that's all right.
He's got some options with this one, though. He doesn't have to be dead perfect with it. If he's trying to play the freeze to the back one and the weight's not quite there, he can always go to his plan B and put it parallel to the one that's in the top of the 12. Deep is not a good option here.
Two looking to steal in this 6N.
Right here, guys.
The Northern Ontario champions looking to put this one in and put more pressure on Saskatchewan.
Right at the very end.
Here she comes now.
Well, go then. Go,
Here she
go.
comes
Well
now.
then. Get it on here. Go, go, go. Go, go.
Beasley and Rogalski drag it right to the button.
Pretty good spot.
Great shot. And now if you're Saskatchewan, how do you score?
Well, if you can get to the nose of that, you can score a point. And I think Corey's looking at that. He's got to be real careful not to come too close to that top red stone. And if he clicks that top red stone, it's a steal of 2. If he's a little wide, he'll roll out, steal of 2. Another good option here for Corey is to play something soft. And I think he's looking at that right now. Play something soft, just come to the face of that red stone, tap the other red back out of the forefoot, and sit there and lie second shot, be happy enough giving up 1.
Perfect, they get 2. This one here,
Corey's also looking at playing a run through.
here, if I
If
hit
he hits it just right, he can get all 3 out.
but it's wide open. But like I said,
What's your call?
I think I play something soft down here, Darren. Play something soft and just try to get to the nose of that and give up my steal at one.
Even a decision for Northern Ontario, they were saying, just stealing one is still not going to do it for them. So if you do give up one,
Timeout.
you have 2 ends left.
They're definitely running out of time, so a steal of one is to start, but it's not probably enough.
And Saskatchewan will pause the time with a timeout. That's their first of 2 timeouts in this 8-end game. Get a good discussion here between the 4.
But I mean, you hit 3/4 and you're getting rid of 2 of them, right?
We'll get rid of all of them.
I think right. So I think you can get. I think that's the easier shot.
If you even control weight is supposed to.
No. No, I'm not going to fart around. And then you tick that, and then you get 3. Yeah. We either.
Is it possible to get all 3 with the hammer?
Oh, absolutely.
Then let's run it. If you think you can get all 3.
But I don't need to get all 3.
No, I know.
If he knows it, we still can't get a point.
What's that?
I knows it, we can still get a point.
Okay, so it's whatever you think's easy. Yeah, whatever you think's easy.
Let me just look at it from this way.
What it really comes down to at this point, Darren, is what does Corey want to throw?
Yeah, and you heard his team really give him that input. They went through the shots, but did say it's whatever you want to play.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's Corey that's got to throw it.
And it looks like he's opted to go for nose on the...
Yeah, he's going to throw, by the looks of it, about regular hit weight, and he's going to try to get to the nose of that red and score a point. If he can get to the nose, he'll eliminate those 2 in the 4-foot and stick around. He's even got a little bit of room to roll. He can roll a foot, 2 feet, 3 feet to the left side of the broom.
So key shot here, Corey Kohutch, and the Saskatchewan champion. Facing 3 Northern Ontario counters. It's coming out a bit over the center.
Yeah, he's got to stick around.
Hit, roll, and that will roll all the way out. And it is a steal of 2 for Northern Ontario, and we'll go at least 1 more. Northern Ontario has narrowed the deficit. 7-4. Saskatchewan leads as we head to the 7th end.
I thought I did.
Hey, 2 more times. Hands like that, we win this game.
Couple more finals to update you. Manitoba picked up another win on Prince Edward Island in the men's event, 8-2 the final there. So Manitoba will finish their round robin in the men's event at 5-1, and that will be a good spot for them. They'll be happy with that. That should get them into a good playoff spot. Of course, it still depends on how this pool shakes out, with this game being the big factor for sure. Quebec right now is up on Nunavut 4-3. They're playing the 8th end. It's 4-3 advantage for Yukon as they play the 7th, but Yukon up 4-3 with Hammer in the 7th end, and it's a 5-4 lead for host British Columbia. They're taking on Nova Scotia. Center guard goes up. Mark Beasley from Northern Ontario with that.
And in full comeback mode here, you get 2 free guards without the last rock. I always like to have 1 long and 1 short. We got the 1 long one out there already. We'll get the second one, hopefully a nice tight center guard. And it'll be two guards out front, and give Corey a little bit of a headache in trying to remove him.
Let's see Saskatchewan with just under 7 minutes to play these 2 ends. It is thinking time. They do have 1 timeout remaining for them as well.
Is there any other?
Well, we got ourselves a pick.
He lost his handle.
Yeah, once again, you got to get a lot of handle on this ice surface. This is one of those ice surfaces very much like arena ice. If you don't put the handle on it, you will catch some frost, and you always have the option of losing your handle. You'll also get extra curl that you don't necessarily want. Nice tight center guard here for Beasley would be in order.
Yep, line! Stay close, yep, line! Hard, guys, hard! Hard! Far as it goes, let's go, far as it goes. Keep going.
Rogalski and Sulkin on the sweep.
They did an excellent job there. They needed to get some separation between the two Reds because eventually Saskatchewan's going to be able to start throwing some BBs at those Reds.
And just like you said, Dave, long center guard and one wrapped around it as well.
Wes Lang's going to have to throw a draw and try to get one into the rings.
Whoa.
Might as well try to beat him in at this point. You can't remove those until the second's first stone.
Line's good. Yep. Hard. Whoa. Yeah, keep going as far as you can. Okay, that's good.
Pretty much a perfect stone for Wes.
Same thing, back four, bud.
Northern Ontario's going to try to use that yellow rock as a guard and slip one into the forefoot. I mean, even to the back of the forefoot at this point. His other option would be just to freeze to that yellow stone.
65. Might have missed it. Looks like it's going to have to curl.
This will be the straighter of the two sides too, so
It's not curling.
tendency here is if you get this rock a little too far out to the wings, it will not come back enough, and that's what's happened here. Weight was perfect.
Good weight, wide open though.
Okay.
Kohutch going with the one in the house. Not worried yet, I guess, about the guards.
Yeah, he's going to try to roll in behind cover here if he could. Take away the steal opportunity for Northern Ontario. Nose hits a pretty good spot.
All right, make this roll, bud.
This is the 8th annual club championship. Travelers sponsor and big sponsor of Canadian curling and supporting curling here at the national level as well as at the club level. The Dominion before that, and this has given a lot of these players a great opportunity. We talked about Kohutch's team, three members of his team, previous winners of this event in Halifax in 2014.
Stay close. Bees.
No matter what year it is or when, you're putting on that provincial jacket is a big honor for any player.
Oh, there's no question about that, Darren. It's what we all play for. It's all we all strive for, and this event is given an opportunity for anybody and everybody.
Yeah. A lot of great stories.
And like I say, you can see all the players with other sports in their background and other things. All regular Canadians with regular lives. A rare opportunity to play for your province.
And some of these provinces too and territories, Northern Ontario is a good example too, that in a province or a region that's dominated by a team like Brad Jacobs, I should say, on the men's Brier side of things, and then Brad Gushu, and for some of these players to get out of their province and even get better at when they do play up against those teams if they opt to go the route of Brier playdowns. Women too for Scotties. It's a really nice opportunity to wear your provincial colors and improve on the game,
and to play in a pressure situation when you're representing your province. It's a feel that you have to experience in order to appreciate.
Andrew Wickman, the Manitoba skip, was saying he did not expect he has this week wearing the bison for Manitoba on his back, and certainly these two provinces here in Northern Ontario and Saskatchewan, similar story. Saskatchewan sitting 1, close for 2, but their objective is to really keep this end clean.
Yeah, I think if Corey can hit this on the nose, he takes away that hole and sets up a wall of yellow stones there. It's going to be a formidable task for the Gary Weiss team. Score a point. Nice soft release here.
Krejci with the hit flop. Doesn't quite hang on.
Yeah, he rolls out. It's not the end of the world for sure.
Could You guys have gotten that there or no?
Northern Ontario still got that hole they've got to negotiate.
No? 50 extra? Definitely more.
Close. Yep.
This is going away again, going away from the glass. Give it a chance, wait.
Mark
Late
Beasley
in the
now
game.
joining the sweep by the top guard, but they want to wrap it around the second yellow in the house. Not quite, but
Good try, zeroing in on it.
Save spot 3.
Again, now for Corey, if he can hit this on the nose and maybe even eliminate that yellow with the red. And block off that path behind the corner guards.
Not bad.
Okay.
Saskatchewan now sitting 3.
All right. You have to like, it's a little heavier, obviously.
Okay, we're down to Skip's first stones. Gary Weiss, he's got 2 chances. He's got to get this one in there. He's trying to bury it not only around those 2 center guards, the 2 red center guards, but he actually wants to bury this around that yellow one in the top of the 12 foot.
Close. Back 4.
Close.
Back 4 is the weight he wants.
Yep.
Back 4.
Yep.
Line, yeah,
Yeah,
line.
let's go.
Hard.
Hard. Mark,
You
two.
gotta go back 4, Mark.
Come on.
Rogalski and
Hard.
Beasley on the
Come
sweep.
on.
They're by the 2 red. Not quite by the top one, but they will rub off of it to sit second rock. It's only about half open. About half open for
Yeah,
Saskatchewan.
small half, I think.
You know what I mean? Mark's not sweeping that for weight at all.
A little bit of pressure for Corey Kuhoch here. Gonna try to eliminate that red.
Gonna give him that again, right?
I think Corey's thinking about playing this a little softer and maybe keeping his shooter
What if I put what if I
around
put
that
one
center line.
I know. If I ever got one in here, you know, even if I come off cross and do that. Well, no, I'll be
Corey thinking a little bit about offense here, maybe trying to get a second one in there.
Another final in men's play. Quebec picking up the win on sheet 1. Final there 5-3 over the Nunavut men.
around there. Like if we can get it right to here, come right through here and just go right here.
Yeah, and none of it's battled out. Or Quebec and none of it had a battle.
Yes, defense is good offense. Corey's going to try to get one in there for a second shot.
Quebec score 1 and 8 to win 5-3.
A little wick off his own yellow, I think is what he's trying, and try to maybe bounce in behind the red.
Or do you guys like that weight I threw last end? Tap it out. I don't mind it. Hey? Let's play the tap on it. Let's hit it. No, the red. Yep. I got half.
This is
That's
similar
it.
to the shot he played in the 5th end, I think it was, around those corner guards.
Yeah, very similar, Darren.
See what kind of weight he throws. Corey Kuhoch in his first rock with hammer, up 3 in the 7th end.
Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
This one has some work to do.
Yeah, looking pretty good
Whoa.
though. Here it comes. Closer to the nose, the better for Corey.
Quiet weight. And that is probably good enough to move the Northern Ontario stone to be 3rd shot. It's close.
Very close.
I can see over half of it. So with that weight,
The key to it is it does open up the 4 foot for Corey.
No, to get the roll, we're almost gonna miss this, aren't we?
it's fine. We got lots of options.
We
And both these teams are in action this afternoon. Saskatchewan men are going to be taking on Alberta. Northern Ontario plays Nunavut. The Alberta men had the bye this morning, and Nunavut just coming off a 5-3 loss to Quebec. You'll be able to catch more action on this channel later this afternoon at 3 o'clock Pacific time. We'll be featuring Prince Edward Island and Quebec. And in the women's play, it will be Saskatchewan and Northern Ontario on the other feature YouTube game.
Well, it's do or die for Gary Weiss right now and his Northern Ontario team.
That's what I'm thinking.
Because he just rips that.
Next door, the Northern Ontario women are looking to steal their way to an extra end. They're taking on Quebec.
Let's do this. Same one. Full four, eh?
They,
A bit more.
the ladies from the north are trailing one without hammer. Get a good shot of that on the right side of your screen. They're throwing red rocks. And this is the last skip stone for the Northern Ontario ladies. They need to find the 4 foot.
Just need a few more feet weight, eh?
Lots of fans from Northern Ontario watching this. And she'll kiss and roll. And she's shot, so Quebec does have to throw their last one. Keep you updated there. But in our feature game, it's the Northern Ontario men that have a similar mission. Steal is their goal here against an undefeated Saskatchewan men's rink. And Gary Weiss
Full four.
Game on,
on
the line
his
for
last.
Gary. Got to get this full four.
Facing,
Gary.
Make sure
facing
right
one,
here.
probably two. It's close, but
Here it comes.
Line's great.
Hard line.
line does look
Line's
pretty good.
fine. Full four. Full four.
This
Not
looks like a
deep,
great
not
shot
deep,
here.
guys, not deep. Look.
Don't want to go behind to be second, and Lang will scrub that to second shot. So Saskatchewan sitting one, and in the other women's game beside us, the Quebec ladies pull off the win, eliminating the Northern Ontario Rock, and they will win that one 7-5. Natalie Gagnon with the win. So Northern Ontario here, Dave, has a draw for 2 with a bit of backing.
Nail in the coffin right here. Chance to go up by 5 now.
It's kind of glided a little better down
Room. Whoa, easy.
This game away. Looking pretty good.
And that will be 2 more points for the team out of the Nutana Curling Club in Saskatoon. Handshakes all around. And a big win for the Saskatchewan champions as they secure first place in men's Pool A action at the 2016 Travelers Curling Club Championship. Dave, that puts them right into the semifinals of the playoffs, which start tomorrow here in Kelowna. They still have another game to play, but how much of a relief is that for Saskatchewan?
Oh, wow, it's got to be such a good feeling. You know, they get it's almost a free game. It's like a game for fun this afternoon. I'm sure they're not going to treat it that way. They're going to play hard because there's other playoff implications towards that game. But wow, what a relief not to have to worry about the stress of that game, and you're into the semifinal where you wanted to be in the first place, and a chance for your second title for 3 of these guys.
Yeah. Northern Ontario drops to 1 and 4. We're going to switch our attention to the Saskatchewan ladies next door on sheet 6. They're taking on the Newfoundland women, and a big game there for them. And they're playing the 8th end.
And it's something simple like
and then I spin it.
Like, come on, like you're not, you knew you weren't getting out there and whatever.
Is
Oh, it didn't matter.
looks to be locked
The other
at
one was wide open, less than
3-3.
inch. Within 3 quarters, you only get.
Low-scoring affair, that's for sure. and they are playing, or waiting for them to hang actually the 7th end here on this game.
The Newfoundlanders have last rock, so they're looking to either score 1 or 2 for the victory here, by the looks of it.
Both these rinks have 3 wins. Saskatchewan is sitting at 3-1. Newfoundland and Labrador at 3-2.
Obviously, huge game for both teams.
Yeah, you don't want to get to 3 losses in an event that has a condensed round robin. 2 losses, excuse me, should be usually okay for a tiebreaker, but can certainly get you into the playoffs as well.
For the timeout, 2 minutes we could play. It's 2 minutes we could play, and then
Yeah, but you know, sometimes it's better.
In the men's Pool B, we'll also try and keep you updated there. That's an important game for Ontario and Yukon. They're locked at 4 points apiece. They're coming home 8th end. It looks like the Yukon has hammer, and the Yukon can keep their playoff hopes alive, but if Ontario wins that, it's similar to the game we just saw here in men's Pool A action, where Ontario would lock up first place. But in the game we've switched to, it's a 3-3 tie. And we get the update there. It was
an apple.
Saskatchewan with a point
So
in the 7th end.
Saskatchewan up 1 without the hammer. It should be a pretty exciting finish here. Although it's been a low-scoring game, there's been rocks in play all over the place on that sheet. Looks like it's been a very exciting game.
Hey? No, the fucking curling. Oh, go show them what it's like to play it.
Newfoundlanders got 1 on the top of the forefoot, fighting the top of the button in the scoring position. Saskatchewan trying to close this forefoot off and freeze 1 on top of it.
Charlotte Moore with the results in the center guard.
Newfoundlanders with a real good opportunity here to get a second one behind cover. Needing 2 for the win.
This Newfoundland team out of the Corner Brook Curling Club, host of a previous Canada Winter Games. They've hosted the Junior Curling Championships, National Championships there as well. Catherine Miles delivering that stone, the second from the Newfoundland rink.
Both teams coming up a little short on their throws, with the sheet 5 beside them leaving the ice. The players leaving the ice. Sometimes that creates a little bit of a with those people leaving, and often the weight can be slower on the sheet you're playing on.
So Danette Tracy lining up the guard into, I guess she's making sure it's not going to clip or sort of get the rock in the house with it.
Well, I think she'd be delighted to get that rock at the back off the button. I think her first thought though is to make sure she does clear this front.
And she gets the one on the top and jams it in the one in the house.
So Curtis with a real good chance here to get another one in.
Familiar name in women's curling from Newfoundland, Susan Curtis. Looks like a timeout called there by Newfoundland and Labrador. They have about 6.5 minutes remaining on their clock, so lots of time to play this out with thinking time.
Yeah, you can't bank that timeout. You might as well use it. It's a very important time in this game.
Good chance to go around the 12 sheets here in Kelowna and update you on the outcomes. We had in men's play, Quebec winning 5-3 over Nunavut. Manitoba men getting past Prince Edward Island 8-2 the final there. Manitoba now finished their round robin play, and with just one loss, they're in good shape. And Saskatchewan 9-4 win over Northern Ontario in the game we brought you all 7 ends of, and that makes Saskatchewan semifinalists here in the men's pool action. They still have a game to play in round robin. Keeping an eye on the sheet beside the one we're covering now, Ontario and Yukon Territory are tied at 4. Ontario looking to steal the win. And right now, it's a great shot by David Staples to possibly set up the steal there. But Yukon would like a win to hold on to their playoff chances. And also in men's action, Nova Scotia leads 6-5 on BC. In that game still happening. And we had a final over on Northwest Territories, New Brunswick. It was 6-2. The men from Northwest Territories won that one. As we come back to this bonus coverage, curling, Newfoundland and Labrador with hammer, trailing by 1. And right now they sit 1 in the house with a couple of guards out front.
Yeah, it'd be a real good chance here if you can get one on top of that yellow one, around that red center guard. A little deep with this one. Line 2 nonetheless. And Danette Tracy's going to try to remove that shot rock on the top of the forefoot. Maybe replace it with a rolling stone.
This is Jade Bloor's first rock of this 8th end through the hole. Just ticked it. Wow.
Tragic.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. So Susan Curtis in a bit of a unique situation here. You have hammer, you're down 1, but you're guarding right now because you have the winning point.
That's kind of a role reversal here, right, Darren?
Yeah.
The Newfoundlanders with last rock are throwing center guards, and the Saskatchewan team is trying to find a way out.
As we get our first look at Patricia Spracklin, the Newfoundland Labrador third.
Maybe bounce off this red and roll over to the center guard. They're very good.
Should probably do the trick, one way of doing it.
Yeah, good plan B. And it is a true role reversal as the team without hammer is peeling off center guards. Her other option here would be to try to come down to the nose of that Yellowstone, that shot rock in the top 4.
Jade Bloor out of the Weyburn Curling Club in Saskatchewan. A lot of weight coming down on this one. And the struggles continue for Saskatchewan, just the wrong side of the inch on a couple of those run backs.
True story there. The Newfoundland team into full protect mode. They have the 2 points they need for the victory if they can seal this center up for 3 more shots.
Deja vu here for Patricia Spracklin. She's asked to play the center guard, same weight. Little kiss off would work too.
A little kiss off on the other side this time.
And she does her job here. Thumbs up from her at the other end. They're playing an extra end over on sheet 9, Nova Scotia men and British Columbia. That's tied at 6. And Ontario, Yukon. Yukon sitting shot rock right now with hammer. It looks like Yukon, I believe, is called a timeout on their first skip stones.
Did Ontario lose that game? Oh, they're still throwing.
Danette Tracy is about to throw her first stone. She's in a little bit of a desperate position here. Looks to be trying a long raise on her red rock out at the 11 o'clock position.
She does have, if it comes to it, the red over on the, I guess it would be 10 o'clock position later on. But
sure, she's got three decent options over there, all very difficult shots. Playing this with some weight.
So Tracy's first rock without hammer. Leads by 1, but faces 2 Newfoundland counters. And this might squeak in. It's got a lot of rotation, though, as it comes through, and that will miss the front one and slide to the back of the house. So Newfoundland and Labrador still sitting 2.
That's the 2 points they need to win. Looks like she's content with those 2 in the house, and she's going to try to protect them with another guard.
Susan Curtis has interviewed before this event started by paper back home in Newfoundland. She's struggled with a bit of illness in the last month with a head cold that she just hasn't been able to shake. So she said, though, midweek she's feeling fine here in Kelowna. It helps that the weather is cooperative. We did have the flu going around with a couple members of different teams, but hand sanitizer is out, and she's certainly not struggling in this game.
Talking with her front end there, making sure everybody's on the same page.
Susan Curtis, her first stone, the 8th end, trailing by 1, but has the game right now in a pretty good spot as they sit 2. Fitzpatrick and Miles just watching that rock slide. Is it over curling, Dave?
Certainly is.
We'll leave a, from our vantage point, it looks like at least 3/4 of the Newfoundland rock exposed for Danette Tracy to make a move on it. And if you caught that in the Ontario-Yukon game, West Forget now sits 3. And Yukon's last rock still to come. Again, big game on the men's event there because Ontario winning that would lock up first place in pool play for them.
Now, Danette Tracy has a very difficult job, but quite makeable. She's needs to get to the inside of this rock. I think she can just see all of it. A little.
Two is whether it's third shot or if it's the back red. It's really hard to see from our vantage point. Again, this is not the original feature game we had, but our crew are doing a great job of providing it for us.
Yeah, that's a good point, Darren.
And
it's hard to tell. I think that yellow at the top is outcounting the red, but it's very close.
And the Ontario men stole the victory from the Yukon territory. That will propel West Forget and his team out of Kingston and the Cataraqui Golf and Country Club. They will go directly into the semifinals of the 2016 Travelers Curling Club Championship men's event. But Danette Tracy has her hands full here as she needs to remove at least one of those yellow stones.
Yeah, certainly a couple options here. She could make the double, or she could maybe get to the inside and roll behind cover. That rock's got to move.
She buy the top one? Yes. And that is a beautiful double. Under a lot of pressure to make it, and she does. And you see Curtis now looking to see if she is second shot. Body language would indicate that she is second shot.
Yeah, she's pretty confident about it. She didn't really take a second look.
She didn't even look at the double, so I would assume she is second shot up there and would need a nose hit for the win.
And she raced down the ice here. I would like her to take a little more time just to relax, gather her thoughts.
Big game for both of these teams.
And changing the ice, she's got plenty of time. She doesn't need to change the ice from this side. See if she can control her adrenaline, which I'm sure is pumping away right now.
This is the final game for Newfoundland and Labrador. They have the bye this afternoon. And Susan Curtis out of the Corner Brook Curling Club, 3-2 right now, wants a nose hit for the win. Nothing to it yet by the sweepers.
I think it's all right.
She has to watch the jam. And just for insurance, she makes the double. And Susan Curtis picks up the win, a big win for Newfoundland and Labrador. They'll move to 4-2. And the finish out the round robin with the win over Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan drops to 3-2 in the women's event. They'll play later this afternoon. We'll be back at 3 o'clock Pacific time for men's coverage and women's coverage here from the 2016 Travelers Curling Club Championship. Dave Meloff with Darren McEwen. Thanks so much for joining us today. Enjoy the rest of your day.
I was born to overcome challenges. 2 months premature, in and out of the hospital, and a heart condition. My parents call me their miracle baby. As with all survivors, I searched for my place in this world, and I found it here. This pebbled ice is where I battle now, and at only 12, I am already a 5-year veteran of this sport. I have my sights set on the Olympics. I will push hard to get there. The only size that matters in this sport is the size of your dreams.
This ice is everything. It's where I come to feel close to her, to feel whole. This building helped raise me when my mother no longer could. When I step on the ice, she steps with me, my rock. We're a team now, like the 4 of us when we step on the ice. Contact sport. But that's not true. It contacts you where you need it the most.